I'll be presenting on the topic economic analysis. Economic analysis is a subject which should be visualized from the different transport projects, environment projects, and disasters. We will look at how the economic analysis should play an important role when taking a decision. There are different intuitions in the economic analysis. Sometimes we need to consider the social mechanics, economic mechanics, infrastructure mechanics, demographic mechanics, change of land use mechanics. When you consider for any highway project, the construction process should always take a process of analyzing the economics. Constructing a rural highway, you try to see like how many people are get connected, how many laden vehicles, commercial vehicles, useful for agriculture, either by getting the raw materials or sending the finished materials in a semi-regional areas. We try to conduct the economic analysis and come out with a procedure that the project is economically viable. When you take the rural highways, the crush thickness and the width of the road, the type of the surface, type of the cross drainage works depends upon the how much traffic and its intensity, the commercial vehicle composition, we try to look into it. Similarly, when it comes to the regional highways or the national highways, try to see like how many commercial vehicles will operate on that road and what are the benefits by utilizing that road of construction. Try to see like the toll, how much toll one can get it once the road is open for. Similarly, in the urban highways, like the expressways, arterial roads, outer ring roads, flyovers, elevated highways, try to look at how much traffic is able to travel to the destination with the design travel time or the speed. The congestion is going to be the decision to conduct the economic analysis and see like constructing the elevated expressway, constructing outer ring roads, regional corridors like the radial roads, flyovers. Try to see the value of the travel time into consideration, the fuel consumption into consideration, the delays into consideration, and conduct the economic analysis. In this manner, we try to see that there is a need for conducting the economic analysis, and that economic analysis will decide whether the project is viable or not. In this chapter, like the chapter 3, where we are studying the headings like the principles of economic analysis and basic concepts of the economic analysis, and how do you conduct the cash flow diagram, how you develop the cash flow diagram, and so on. So suppose if you take a project like how to sustain the natural social distance to control the disaster like the COVID-19, there is a need for conducting the social analytics and economic analysis by considering the land use forms into account, land use design into account, land use analysis into account, and land use evaluation into account. Suppose if you take city like Hyderabad, where there is a need for maintaining the social distance to combat against the COVID-19. At homes, we don't mind because we know each other, the health conditions, and we try to make as a group maintaining the social security or social safety. The problem comes when we come to the common area, we mingle with outside people. Similarly, when it goes to the destination like the work, shopping, recreation, we need to maintain the social distance. So, to conduct the academic analysis for this sort of nature, we need to take what are the benefits by conducting the land use analysis of sustaining social distance. What is the cost parameter involved in conducting the academic analysis? The cost parameters is like by dividing the study area into homogeneous blocks. Like 750 square kilometers area, we divide into 25 square kilometers as one block, which means that 5 kilometer by 5 kilometer grid as a one block county or a subdivision in the city, where the people can travel maximum 7 kilometers radially, the maximum, and all the social trips are going to be addressed by considering the maximum trip length of the 7 kilometers. And academic trips will account for, if at all they cross more than 7 kilometers, their ID is going to be tracked upon. And try to discourage the road utility through road utility tax, that many trips beyond this 25 square kilometers should not be taken place regularly. When you see the social distance, when you see the social frustration, the economic disaster, we need to handle these three into one line and see whether the proposal of decentralizing, deconcentrating the urban land use activity is economically viable or not. Suppose if you take 25 square kilometers area where 10,000 people are permitted to live, which means nearly 2,000, 2,500 households are going to live, and each household require 100 square meters, which means that nearly 20 to 25% of the area of let's say 1 square kilometer area, for example, if you take it, can accommodate 25% of land use for residential. Similarly, to accommodate the environment, around 33% of land use is going to be open for green and open lands, and around 6% is open for the infrastructure. Likewise, the remaining is for, let us say, unused land and abandoned land. Likewise, you try to create certain amount of land for residential activity, certain land for academic activity, certain land for social activity, and try to analyze what sort of land use form is required, like how many sort of shopping complexes are required, recreation complexes are required, education complexes are required, health clinics are required, and so on. So when you see for accommodating 20% of land for residential, we try to plan at least another 20 to 30% for 20% for business activity, let's say 40%, and 30% is for open land, let's say 70-75%. Remaining 6% is for the infrastructure, and remaining is for support infrastructure or recreational vacant lands and so on. So likewise, if you come out with land use forms to be placed like this, then we try to design the land use with the infrastructure, like every built up area of the social interactive, residential, academic interactive are going to be connected with the road system. The 6% of the road system of the area is going to be connected with the road network, road geometrics, and right-of-way features. So the land use design will try to create the hierarchy of the land use system, like the residential to residential, residential to the semi-commercial, semi-commercial to the commercial and industrial, and commercial to the commercial. So within this 25 square kilometers area, you're trying to come out with a road network which function with a reasonable right of way, having the social trips be highly encouraged. Social interactive trips are supposed to be encouraged. The people who travel with less than 5 kilometers prefer to make them to travel by walk or by two-wheelers. And most of the area will be occupied with socio-related trips. As you see, the countries like Japan, most of the travel is going to be by walk, by two-wheelers. And any travel beyond that, they're going to travel by high transit vehicles. Very rarely they use the private vehicles. So in this post-disaster, beyond the COVID-19, we want to develop the economic-oriented, social-oriented, natural social distance suggested and secure land use planning. We need to conduct the economic analysis. So this is how we have to look at the need of the economic analysis for land use planning, for the regional road planning, the rural road network planning, urban land use planning, where the economic analysis is going to play an important role. So when you conduct this economic analysis, you need to see like what the principles to be followed. How do you identify the cash flow diagrams are more important, because the benefit and the cost delineation is to be properly made, so that the factors which are accounted for monetarily, the factors which are not accounted for monetarily should be delineated, and conduct the analysis that the benefit should always be better than the cost. In the case of the natural social distance sustainability, we try to maintain 1 meter minimum to 2 meters minimum as the distance between people. And when you calculate that nearly 3,000 to 4,000 people are coming up to interact per day, let's say we divide them that they are going to walk for 8 hours, 8 hours they are going to interact. So try to see like nearly 500 people are going to travel in 1 hour. So in this context, try to see like how much road length should be sufficient for people to sidewalk. Similarly, what could be the capacities of the shopping centers? We need to look at it. So in this manner, try to create the land use form and see economically and social distance wise and social interactive wise how the land use form should be designed is to be analyzed with a proper economic analysis. Maybe the next session I'm going to speak can just continue to this, but this is an introduction how the economic analysis is needed. Thank you.